If you're anything like me and you have to have the how and the what and the when explained behind everything that you're doing, then this video is for you. But before we get into that, my name's Kristian. I'm the founder of Ready for Anything. Over the last 8.5 years of coaching, I've worked with well over 1,000 people, and in that time I've transformed hundreds of lives. And who we help now is high performers and entrepreneurs that want to gain a competitive edge over everyone else that they're competing against across body, lifestyle, mindset and career. So let's get stuck into it. So the first one is very simple. Treat every single day the exact same. Don't treat Saturdays and Sundays different from Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. And this is something that I had to do a lot of work on. Now, depending on your upbringing, depending on your household's habits and behaviours, and the behaviours that you've maybe ingrained in your own household, with your family, your relationships, it's going to be dependent on where you are starting your journey. For a lot of people, they struggle with this big time and they don't actually realise that they're only actually a couple of degrees off making insane progress, but because they have this little monkey on their shoulder that keeps telling them and justifying things to do at certain days of the week, they do not realise how much it is holding them back. The only way that I can really compare this is, as a guy, it seems to be guys that do this more than girls. I always had this idea that I was missing out. So I used to stay up late at night and I used to always think to myself, I can't go to bed early because if I go to bed early, I'll miss something. I'll miss something on the TV, I'll miss something on Facebook, I'll miss a text from someone. And the reality was I was just chasing the wrong things, man, and there was no actual fulfillment and purpose in my day. Then this is no different to weekends. We've got this wee story in our mind that we deserve it, that we need to chill out a lot more, that we need to kick back. Guys, the biggest thing that you need to understand when it comes to your life is you need to live it on your terms. You cannot live it by default. You have to live it by design. You have to set a standard for yourself. And for a very, very long period of time, I was dialed in. I was locked in for years and years and years. But actually, it was only 5 days out of 7, because as soon as it came to the weekend, I'd tell myself that I needed to lie in. I'd tell myself I didn't have to be as disciplined as what I was during the week. I'd tell myself I could eat a lot more freely. I'd tell myself that I could do essentially what I wanted, because I associated this time with not being in work. I associated it with drinking alcohol. And this is stuff that's compounded over a period of time. And what began to happen is the more I actually just committed to every single day being the same, I felt more free, I felt more light, I felt more in control, and I started to see more change. Now, this did not happen overnight. It happened over an extended period of time. And I can quite honestly, heart on hand, say that how I turn up on a Sunday morning is no different to how I turn up on a Monday morning. And for a lot of people that may be alien, but you actually leaning into this and committing to this will give you back so much return in so many ways you cannot even imagine when it comes to your results, your physique, your performance. Because think about it, guys, if you actually think about 2 days out of 7, if you're being not optimal for 2 days out of 7, right, you might still be training, you might still be eating okay, you might still be, it's not like you're completely sabotaging yourself, but think about it, guys, like we're only living the same day in the same week in the same month over and over. If you can optimize to be more consistent than what you already are right now and turn that from 5 days to 7 days, the return that you're going to get is going to be significant. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but it's like 20, I'm going to say like 25%, no, maybe like 23%, I don't know, someone can correct it in the comments, but it becomes a huge part of your week. And if you're missing out on that week upon week, every single week, honestly, you're just holding yourself back so much. So step one is treating every single day the same. It doesn't matter what you're doing, what country you're in, what time zone you're in, what time of the year it is. If you get time off, treat every day the same, and I'm telling you, your consistency will go from here and your results will go from here to here. Number 2 is a one that people don't really understand: committing to a period of abstaining from something. So what is abstinence? Abstinence is the process of actually saying no to something and committing to a period of time where you do not do it. An example of this would be sobriety. Now, when you commit to a period of abstaining from something, you don't have to do it forever. Back in 2023, going into 2024, I committed to 6 months of sobriety, and this is one of the most eye-opening experiences in my life. Now, I wasn't at a point in my life where alcohol was problematic in my life. A lot of people think when you go sober or you stop drinking that you have to be in this period of life where it's problematic. It definitely was not. But the thing that I had an itch that needed to be scratched, basically, and I knew for a long period of time I'd done 2 months, 3 months, and it was no problem whatsoever. Usually at the start of the year I wouldn't drink at all, and as I got older my relationship with alcohol continued to change, but there was a part of me going, you still haven't done any longer than 3 months in your entire adult life, and that's quite embarrassing. You still haven't went to things or done things where you have chosen to not drink, like weddings or certain holidays or being in different time zones. and you just need to exercise that. And you know what? It was one of the most freeing periods of time that I've ever had. It was very hard. Now, I'm going to go into this a little bit more because people are like, what does a hard feel like? Because the first thing people asked me was, do you feel better? I didn't feel bad, right, guys? I didn't do it because I felt bad. I'd done it because I had a point to prove to myself. And it wasn't hard for the first few months. As I said, I'd done this before. It wasn't new to me. But when I found it hard, I always remember it. It was February 2024. Me and Ailey came second in their age group at High Rocks Turin, and we actually qualified for World Champs. And that night we were just so happy. We were so excited. We vlogged the full thing. If you want to go back and watch that, you can actually see it. And it was fantastic. But that night I went out, and this is where I really found myself going into that default behaviour. The first thing I wanted was just a beer. I didn't want to go and get drunk, but I wanted to get a beer. And I needed one, right? And I remember actually saying to Ailey, like, I might actually get one. And then I was like, no, you've committed to this process. You've said you're going to do this, so stick to it. And I actually remember being in a little bit of a mood. And then the second time it happened was we were in Ibiza, and we actually booked a holiday in the May. So we were coming up to the end of the 6 months. And I was in Ibiza, the party island, man. And not that I was out there to party, I was out there to actually chill out. We went to a really nice hotel, and it was just to get away because me and Ailey were a little bit done in. Anyway, I was on this island, there was a DJ on one night in the hotel, it was beautiful, the sun was setting, and I was like to Ailey, I'm going to have a beer tonight. And I was really like telling her, and I was like, I'm only 2 weeks away from the 6 month period, and I deserve it right now, and I've got out of this what I want to get from it. And she's like, Kristian, and I was like, would you mind? And she said, Kristian, would you mind? And the fact of the matter was, I would have minded because I committed to that. Now, it wasn't about the alcohol, it wasn't about going through a period of doing things and going to them sober. I learned so much through this lens here, but it actually made me exercise a level of discipline that I'd never done before. And that's the point, guys, and so many folk do not see that. Like, people get into like self-improvement, personal development, health and fitness, and they're like, I'm just going to get off it for a while, I'm just not going to go to any of these things. That's not the point, guys. The point, the fact of the matter is, you're not trying to like tighten yourself off like a pressure valve so that as soon as you go and do the thing that you don't actually know how to manage, you pop. What you're trying to actually do is go and exercise a level of discipline that you've never actually been able to exercise before. That's the point in abstaining from something. So it doesn't have to be alcohol. Alcohol is a great example because it's very predominant in a lot of our lives. It's very, very normal, and it's something that we've actually had deeply ingrained into our society. It could be something as simple as not using your phone after 8 p.m. in the evening. Not using social media on a weekend, or it could be something that you're committing to doing. It could be not buying any junk food for a month in the house. It could be whatever. And a lot of people say that you shouldn't cut things out. Now, obviously one step at a time if you're trying to change your life, but I actually believe that making sacrifices and abstaining from something for a period of time is a great way to really, really evolve fast, because in that 7 months, I planned on doing 6 months, but I planned on drinking and I got sick one time and then I didn't drink, and I just continued it for another month. So I didn't actually drink for 7 months. And what that just taught me wasn't that I felt better, or it wasn't, my relationship with myself changed because I proved to myself that I could do something that I'd never actually done before. So you can do this in a lot of different ways, but I strongly believe that everyone should go through a phase of abstaining from something because you learn so much about yourself. And lastly, this one's super simple. Talk about your goals. Talk openly, talk regularly, speak to other people that are in your direct life about the things that you're actually trying to achieve, the things that you desire and the things that you're gunning towards. I had an amazing chat with someone that came into the program recently, and one of the biggest things I always ask people in the discovery call is, what's important to you right now? What do you feel like's missing from your life? And we were really diving about what do they want. And as soon as I asked them what they want, they were like, I want to have a good routine, I want to just exercise because it's really important to me. And I was like, you're doing all of those things right now. I was like, what do you want? And they couldn't answer it. And I said, would you like to know what you want? And they were like, I would love to. And I just said to them, I was like, look, can you actually see the fact that because you're not actually that clear on what you're doing, yeah, you're exercising, yeah, you've got good intentions, yeah, you're health conscious, yeah, you're focused on bettering yourself. And this is someone that's in their early 20s, by the way, right? That's like really focused and locked in on what they do. Great habits and behaviors. But I said to them, I was like, your ambitions are just a bit vague right now, and as a result of that, you're not really accountable to yourself. It's not that you're not trying, it's not that you don't have the best interest to be better, but because your lack of clarity on your goals, you're not able to then talk about them. And already this client has came in the door and they are absolutely thriving right now because they're clear on what they need to do. They've got a roadmap, they've got a strategy, they've got vision, they've got other people around them who get it. And for a lot of people, guys, like, it's good to get the blinkers on. It's good to just not talk to anyone else about what's happening in your life and getting locked in, as everyone's saying right now, which I absolutely love. But you need to be projecting out to the world. Otherwise, if it's in the head, it's dead, guys. It's as simple as that. So the biggest game changer for me is, like, always, I've spoke about it. I speak about to Ailey, I speak to our clients about it. I openly talk about it in social media. And this is an amazing opportunity for you guys to really, like, shed a layer of skin. The reason why you're probably not talking about them or talking them down is because you're scared. And a lot of people think of the word fear and they think of, like, being scared of heights, being scared of the dark, being scared of spiders. Guys, most people are driven by fear. Like, it's the reason why they're not implementing, it's the reason why they're staying and doing the same things over and over. It's the reason why they're too scared to invest in themselves. It's the reason why they're too scared to ask for help, because there's a part of their brain going, I cannot do this, there's no point in me even trying. So it's not just the fact that you're not talking about your goals because you want to just, like, stay focused on what you're doing. You're probably not talking about your goals because there's a part of you right now that knows to get to that next level, you need to act and behave even bigger than what you are right now. And that thought's just a little bit scary, guys. So yeah, like, my biggest piece of advice, and the last one, kind of recapping everything I've spoken about today, is, like, you need to be putting it out there what you're doing. You can't just, like, say it once and not do anything about it. I speak to so many guys and girls that have a little bit, I call it hype guys and girls, where they're, like, hyped up and they're like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and it's the last time you ever hear of it again. Now, sometimes you can bite off more than you can chew, sometimes you can make a little bit of a mistake, whatever, right? I get that. But the more you talk about it, the more real it is, and the more you will start to act in line with that person as well. So think about the habits, think about the behaviours required, think about the goals that you're doing, and then all of a sudden you just start to see that certain parts of your life start kind of directing towards that. You'll find yourself in situations and environments that are more optimal for that already. Me and Ailey, since we've been out in Bali, we're like, this time we're coming out here, we're going to start going to the run clubs, we're going to start seeking out some savage runners that are going to make us elevate our own running. And already we've connected with another person that we're going out with a run with, that's on Wednesday, I believe, that we're going to be doing it, or I can't remember, Tuesday or Wednesday. And basically, yeah, we're going to meet up with this person that runs a 2:45 marathon, and it's going to make us better. If we didn't speak about our goals or train their ambitions, then that wouldn't have came to fruition. Like, I would have just continued doing what I always do when I get here, which isn't bad, by the way, but you need to project out to the world what you want. Otherwise, your goals just don't happen to that level. So yeah, guys, use your social media, use your circle around you. Don't be scared. And you might get some people that give you a little bit of a knockback. Fuck them. If that's what they do, absolutely fuck them off, man. They're not your friends, they're not your supporters, they're people that don't want to see you grow. And yeah, definitely do not share your goals with those folk. But yeah, project that stuff out to the world. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you took a lot away. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel. See you later. Goodbye.